Well, here we are. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gnosis Tech here. Welcome to the first ever phone review. Today, we are going to be looking at and reviewing the Pixel 3 XL, a phone I've been having, I would say, quite a difficult time figuring out how I was going to compose a review because I wasn't sure what I wanted to say about it. But I think I got what I want to say. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so I've been using the Pixel 3 XL for about a month now, so I've been really putting it through its paces to give you guys the best recommendation possible if this is something that you should definitely pick up. There, of course, are two new Pixels, the Pixel 3 and the 3 XL. The one I'm going to be talking mainly about is the 3 XL, but the same thing will apply to the Pixel 3 unless further stated. Other than really just the size, there's really not too many differences between the 3 and then the XL, but for the sake, we'll just talk about this one. So let's go ahead and first talk about the build quality. All right, so the build quality on the Pixel 3 XL is good. It's nice looking, sleek design, sleek body. I love the way the back looks with the two-tone glass. It is actually an all glass back, so they maintained the glass at the top, but they've put a frosted glass on the bottom of the phone. And I have to say, it feels great. I would say this is probably one of the best feeling phones that I've held for this year alone. So it's really good. I love the way the phone looks. I know people are gonna say it, so let's go and get out the way. Yes, the notches here on the Pixel 3, and yes, it is by far the biggest notch I have ever seen on a smartphone of this year. I know the notch is a thing right now, but Google, come on, really? I mean, guys, this is massive. This is it's not attractive. But I decided to put my differences aside, whether I like the notch or not, to try to really focus mainly on the phone. But I wanted to go and get that out of the way. The notch is here. It is massive. It's not the best looking, but there's more to the phone than just a notch. But I will say it does get the 2018 award for biggest notch. So, all right, so speaking of build quality, let's go ahead and talk about that screen. Now, I will tell you that when I first initially got the Pixel 3 XL, the screen on it was not the most impressive. So if you're in direct sunlight, you cannot see this phone whatsoever. You pretty much have to have this phone cranked up almost at 100% brightness in order to actually be able to see the screen. So that definitely is gonna take a toll on your battery. So if that is something that is concerned for you, I probably would say this might not be the phone for you. Now, I will say, because I've used this for almost about a month, there has been an update, and it seems like that with the screen at a lower percentage, it seems like the brightness did improve a little bit. So I don't know if this is something that Google is fixing in their software updates, but initially when I had the device, the screen wasn't the best. Not to say that the screen is bad. The screen has good clarity. It's very vibrant when you are able to see it. But if you are outdoors quite a bit, this is definitely going to be a difficult phone to see there unless you crank it up at 100%. So it is something to keep in mind when you are using the device. And just of course, like a 2018 phone, you have your 2018 specifications. So with the Pixel 3 XL, you are going to be getting a Snapdragon 845 processor, 4 gigabytes of memory, a choice of either 64 gigs or 128 gigs of internal storage. Of course, there is no expandable storage here, which kind of sucks. You also get a 3500 milliamp hour battery in it as well. And as far as the memory, that is another concern that I do have with the Pixel 3. XL is the 4 gigs. Now, of course, that is kind of standard now for 2018, but with a lot of devices now going to 6 and 8 gigabytes of memory, I do have concerns with durability over a long period of time with the Pixel 3 XL, that the more applications you have and the more stuff you put on the phone, that 4 gigs is just going to be eaten up much faster than other devices. So again, if that is a concern for you, this may not be the phone for you. But as far as the performance, it does use stock Android. It's going to be using Android 9.0, which is Android Pie, so it is going to be using the latest operating system there. And I will say, I understand why everybody likes having a stock experience on an Android phone, because this phone is fluid, it's fast. I haven't really had any stutters over the course that I've been using it. It feels great. So everything about it, from being able to open up programs to texting, everything feels fluid. I will say I'm not too big on Android Pie. One of the big things I don't like is the way you have to go to your home, or even when you're trying to get to all your applications, is that you have to swipe up once or swipe hold up and then swipe all the way up at the top. So it's not the most intuitive design or intuitive navigation, but it's definitely not bad. I could see them improving on it over time. So kind of gotta pick your battles here and there. Android Pie overall feels really great, but there are a few things that I would like for them to have done differently. The navigation is just not as good as I would have liked it to be. I would have liked to see an implementation where you could have kept the navigation bars at the bottom and had your choice of whether you want to use the Android Pie navigation bars or ones that came from previous Android devices. I know other manufacturers do have it in their software, so I would have liked Google to have been able to do the same thing as well. All right, now I touched on it a little bit, but we'll go ahead and talk about the battery life. So of course, like I said before, the battery life is definitely not bad. It's not the greatest that I've seen. Like I said, I've had times where I had to charge it during the middle of the day, but it does have fast charging in there, so you can go from 0 to 50% in about 30 minutes. It also has wireless charging as well, because the back is now entirely made out of glass, so you do have the capability of wirelessly charging the Pixel 3 now, which is a nice step up. If you have the Pixel 3 stand, it can also act as a docking station as well, so it can show your pictures or whatever you set it as. So overall, definitely say the battery is okay. I was usually at the most I saw was getting about 4 hours of screen on time, whereas with other devices I was able to get anywhere from 5, 6, sometimes even 7 depending. So I will say it's not going to be a battery champion. You are more than likely going to want to make sure you have a charging cable by you, because you more than likely are probably going to be charging this especially by the end of the day. Alright, so what would this review be if we didn't talk about one of the most important things about the Google Pixel? That's the camera. Now I will say, they only have a single lens camera on there, so if you like having the telephoto, this isn't going to be there for you. However, this is a fantastic camera. I really don't have too many complaints, or really complaints at all with the camera. It's fantastic. It almost opened my mind up to how great a phone camera could be. So it is using a 12 megapixel sensor on there. It is a single lens camera system. So a lot of the stuff is going to be more so software based than really just hardware based alone. And I will say that Google's software, they do a great job of optimizing Android and the software to make the most out of this camera, and it definitely shows. A lot of the pictures that I took, very vibrant, good dynamic range, very colorful. It just looked gorgeous. It was very stunning. Probably some of the best photography I've seen, next to some of the iPhones, which take good cameras, and also the Samsung Note 9 also takes good cameras as well. But this by far definitely does a really, really good job. Probably the best camera out of all time. So it definitely lives up to the name there. So like I said, pictures are fantastic. You can see some of the pictures that I took here. It looks just absolutely beautiful.
Play this record as frequently as possible.
Alright, so this is the front-facing video on it. So this is what you can expect when you have the Pixel. So far, the quality seems to be pretty nice. I don't know how the audio sounds, so I'll go ahead and let you know my thoughts on the audio once I'm able to listen to it. But this is what you can expect on the Pixel 3 XL. And just a few more things before I go ahead and end the video. The first thing I wanted to do was do a audio test to show you guys what the speakers sounded like on the Pixel 3 XL. I will say they do get fairly loud, but when you crank it up, sometimes it does get a little bit distorted, and it also rumbles the phone a little bit. So I actually played a song here, so I'll go ahead and let you guys listen to it so you can hear how it sounds. All right, and the next thing is going to be some of the issues that I actually had with the Pixel 3 XL. So the first one was going to be the screen. I didn't mention it in the video earlier, but when I took it out of my pocket, I did notice that the phone had some severe scratch marks on it. Be honest with you, don't know how it happened, don't know where it came from. I had nothing in my pocket, but just something to keep in mind when you are buying this device, that the screen doesn't seem to be as durable. Another thing I also noticed was that when I was using my phone, some occasions, not all the time, but there were some times where if I was switching between an application or closing out an app, there'd be this quick green flash. So I don't know if that was something with the screen, something with the software, but I just wanted to let you guys know that was an issue that I came across. I don't know if you would have that same issue that I did, but I restarted the phone, haven't had that issue since then, so just wanted to let you guys know that. So overall, the Pixel 3 XL, it has a lot of shortcomings when it initially launched. It's a phone that I kind of had difficulty determining if it was something I thought would be a good recommendation, especially if you have a Pixel 2 device. Now, I will say if you're coming from a Pixel 2 to the Pixel 3, it's not going to be I would say a significant performance boost if you go to the Pixel 3 XL, just because a lot of the stuff that you have on the Pixel 3, you can also get on the Pixel 2 XL. There were also a few other features as far as the software that you are going to eventually get with your Pixel 2. One of the big ones is the screen call assistant. So for example, if you make a phone call, then you can actually have Google answer the phone for you, and you can get a live transcription of what Google and the person on the other end is having a conversation about, which is a really, really nice feature. So I do like that, but I don't know if it's enough to really say that you should jump on this phone here, especially with the fact there are a whole bunch of other devices that pretty much beat the Google Pixel 3 in other categories such as battery life, the performance, the RAM. Camera quality, I will say the Pixel 3 is top of the line, and it's kind of one of those reasons why it was it's very difficult for personally me to switch to another phone, because the camera is so good on the device. It kind of really makes any other camera kind of not as good, but it's kind of tough because the price starts off at $799. And of course, depending on if you get the 64 gig or the 128 gig, and it goes up from there. So around that price point, you have other devices like the Razer Phone 2, and then if you want to spend a few extra more dollars, you have of course the Note 9 and even your iOS devices as well. So it's kind of competing in a very clouded market right now. It's very difficult to really say yes, just because there are a lot of issues that I found with it, such as the screen getting easily scratched on both the front and the back of the device. And there's just a few software tweaks that, hopefully in future software updates, it'll definitely improve. I think this kind of comes into play with how the Pixel 2 was when it first was released. It had a lot of issues when it was released and announced, and over time, as they fixed those issues, it got a lot better. So I feel like the Pixel 3 XL is kind of the same story. There's a lot of issues with it starting off, but over time, I definitely do think that the phone will get much better. And when it does, I think then if you are interested, it's definitely going to be a good buy. But I think for right now, it's kind of really tough to recommend the phone. Unless you're a person who takes a lot of photos and videos and you really want the best camera possible, then this is definitely a good device for you. The hardware itself is definitely not bad. I'm not saying it's horrible or it's trash. It's definitely, I would say, good. It's 2018 standard, so it'll definitely do the job, and it'll do the job well. And if you enjoy having a stock Android experience, then the phone is definitely going to give that to you. It's going to give you some good feel. But like I said, because of the fact it doesn't have as much RAM, and then the battery life is okay, and then the screen, it doesn't get as bright, it's almost really tough to really say that this is going to be much better than some other competitors that are out there as well. So I'm actually interested to know what you guys think. Are you guys picking up a Pixel 3 XL? Do you guys already own the Pixel 3 XL? And kind of what are your thoughts on the Pixel 3? Do you guys think that this is a good phone for 2018? Or do you think that with some of the other options that are out there, this phone kind of falls a little bit short? I'd love to hear from you guys. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Really hope you guys did enjoy. This is actually the first time I did a phone review on the channel, so I do have other phones I want to review. So if you guys want to see future phone reviews, make sure you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel for more future phone reviews and future videos that I will be doing. And make sure you click that notification bell so you know when the next video comes up. Anyway, guys, my name is Gnosis Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay techy.